Hey, what's up? It's GW. You guys already know that if you tune into the channel. So this was the day that I went to go see my former doctor. And just to recap, you guys didn't see my last two videos that had something to do with the medical profession. I suggest you check out Bad Doctor Visit and Bad Doctor Visit Aftermath. Chronicles what I went through and just some of the things from my point of view. So a little bit has happened since the last video I dropped about the doctor's office and this video. And I'm going to get into that pretty quickly. In fact, we're going to do it right now. But before I get into that, I just want to thank, I want to thank the people at Slippery Rock Medical for giving me the number for the patient advocate portal. See, what happened is when we left the Butler establishment that I talked about in the previous two videos, nobody had given us any sort of number or contact point to escalate what happened to me further. So when I called and we registered for the Slippery Rock place, they were the first ones, guys, to give me the patient portal number. And if anything, if you guys ever go to a doctor's visit and anything goes wrong and you're told that the office manager is the top tier, don't believe them, guys, because you can go higher. You just have to have the patient portal number, or the patient advocate number, sorry, and you can lodge a complaint, which is exactly what I did. So what happened was I called the patient portal number, and apparently there's only a few people that run in that office. This was about a week after I dropped the Bad Doctor Visit Aftermath, at which point we had left that particular practice. So when I called the new place, they gave me the number, and I called and I lodged a complaint, and I told them on the phone, I left a message detailing in very much graphic detail what had happened to me. And they said that they'll get back to you. Well, they got back to me that Friday, as a matter of fact. And I called on a Tuesday, I believe. And I talked to the lady for over an hour, going over and over and over some of the events that have happened to me, and basically told her, that I didn't feel comfortable, and everything that a doctor stood for was not what I got. I didn't get the treatment, nor the care, nor the confidentiality, or any of that. I got nothing. And I'm not going to rehash it. You guys can go check out my other videos and make sure. And she said that she would kick up the complaint to the medical department, and I might get a phone call in 7 to 10 days. And I was like, hey, you know what? I'll tell, like Kevin Bacon and JFK, I'll tell the same story. Don't matter, call to me. That was a line he used in JFK. But, so I talked to them. In the meantime, I called the new place, Slippery Rock Medical, which I know that's not the name of the place, but that's what I'm calling it. Their staff from top to bottom was bar none. I would say, I use the word godsend pretty tight-lipped, but they were a godsend. Everybody in that office, from the secretary to the checkout lady to the doctors in between, our first initial impression was these guys are worlds and leaps and bounds beyond the Butler Medical place. And I say that because this morning at, time was it? Like 4:30 in the morning, I get a message on my phone telling me to check in and register. Hey, cool. Never got that before. So my wife, she did hers, so she did mine. All right, cool. So I had skipped the check-in, something that Butler Medical did not get. Yeah, I don't mind trashing them, I don't care. So they didn't have that, but this one did. We made it there probably a half hour before our appointment. My appointment was for 9 a.m. this morning, so we got there at like 8:30. And we went in there, and not only did I talk to my former doctor, who I love to death, I think she's an awesome woman, and she doesn't push things on people, but I talked to her, and I went over again what had happened at the other Butler Medical Facility. And she said, you know what? She said, you ain't got to worry about none of that. I said, all right. And she thinks their approach was garbage, this and that and everything. And then what was really cool is she had a lady that sat in the background, right? And she typed on the computer, kind of like one of them dudes at the courthouse. You know how the lawyers go, and she types it up, a stenographer, I think they call it. I don't know what to call it. But we spent over an hour with them. And they kept assuring me that what happened at the other Butler Medical was not going to happen here. In fact, she didn't push anything on me. She said, hey, if you want to. And I left there, and I know this is going to sound really cliche, but the impression me and my wife got was, this is a person who not only cares about your medical stuff, but cares about you as a person, and cares about how you're treated and wants the best for you. And I'm telling you, after seeing the way these guys operate, there is no way in hell that I'm changing doctors. I feel safe with my current doctor. In fact, we had, and once I went over everything and told her that the Butler Medical place lied about where she was dumbfounded, shocked. And her motto, you could tell she was getting a little upset, but her motto was, you know what, we're going to move on. And I think that's what we need to do, you know. And if anybody asks me where to go, I'm going to direct them right to Slippery Rock Medical. Their staff, their location, their whole attitude is 360 degrees away from what you will see in most other places. And I got up this morning, you guys, and I was expecting to just go in there and all psyched out, kind of like, you know, Conor McGregor before a UFC fight. I was ready to just rip the roof off that place and say, hey, this is what happened to me, and I'm mad as hell. And I get in there with that mentality, and I was so, you know, fixated on what had happened that I didn't even recognize my old doctor. That's how upset I was. And it didn't help that that's what was going in my head, that whole situation, and I just want it rectified. So I'm hoping that the Butler or the medical people call me, and hopefully something else gets done about this, because nobody should go through what I went through. But I'm giving big props to Slippery Rock Medical, and I think that they make you feel like you're at home. You know what I mean, when you do that. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Yes, it's hot outside, and you know what, it's reached about maybe 90. My car said 94 going into the doctor. It's hot as hell, guys, and we can't escape it. And then they even extended the heat warning, and it's like, are you kidding me? This is like Spike Lee Do the Right Thing hot. If you ever seen that movie, then you know what I'm talking about. All the kids playing, the water plugs going, hottest day of the year, and what happens? Tempers flare, and then you end up having a race riot. But guess what? We in North Pennsylvania, we don't have to worry about that. But it just made me think of the movie, or Falling Down. You remember Michael Douglas, Gridlock Traffic? It's hot as hell. That boy goes nuts. Same thing. But not here to talk about that. Now, on the flip side, because I've been dealing with some of this stuff, my mind hasn't exactly been where it was, and that's why I checked out, you know, other entertainment value, kind of like I did with the Tokyo Gore Police review. I just needed something different, and the Japanese gore and the Japanese films like, you know, crime films, cyberpunk, splatterpunk, whatever you want to call them, there's something there. And I know I've just not even touched the surface, but I really think they're pretty out there and very original, very fierce, very unique, but a lot of them are non-coherent. Tokyo Gore Police being the most coherent Japanese gore movie I have seen. It had semi of a straight narrative, but I also watched one called Tetsu the Iron Man. In fact, I bought the Blu-ray collection of it that it's on. I caught this little movie, and it's only about an hour, maybe 45, 49 minutes long. Very, very out there, very crazy, and it's a portrait of how technology takes us over. And I'm not even going to try to explain the movie to you. It's one of those things you just have to experience. They made 3 of them, and the first one, if you have AMC Plus, it's on there, I believe. But yeah, I've been really getting into the Japanese style, and like, if you go back, one of the greatest horror films that I saw in the 1990s. No, actually, it was a couple years ago. It came out early 90s. Was Takashi Miike's Audition. And this is probably one of the best horror films in general, if not Japanese horror films. And if you're interested, I'll give you the loose plot synopsis so you can check it out. It's about a man who has a son. And I don't remember, too, in the beginning if they say his wife died or whatever. But anyways, him and his buddy, like, his buddy goes out on dates all the time and this and that. And he's a big businessman in Japan, right? Real big businessman, right? And he wants to find a wife. So him and his buddy stage an audition for a movie that's never going to happen for him to find a wife. Well, guess what, guys? When you do something stupid, you're going to get bit. And what follows is probably one of the most brutal, eerie, and classic horror premises that you will see. And I've noticed something when you watch a lot of J-horror, they use a lot of pins, man. They use a lot of pins, and they put these push pins in places, and you just squeamish and everything. But it's crazy. But check out Audition. Very good movie. Takashi Miike. He went on to do Showtime's Masters of Horror, and he did a segment called Imprint, which was actually banned from Showtime because of violence. Ironically, it's my wife's favorite entry into the series, and she's watched them all. But like I said, I have been getting into the Japanese style of horror. Also been loving the samurai sword stuff. You know, and if you go back, if you've seen Tokyo Gore Police, that woman does not use anything else in the movie but a katana, and I think that's pretty awesome. So, J-horror and sci-fi, splatterpunk, steampunk, whatever you can call it, I really enjoy it. I know it's not for everybody because a lot of people don't like to read and a lot of people don't like to dub, but it's really cool. So that's what I've been doing. Also been playing a lot of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3. In fact, I played a whole bunch, and you know what? My wife was gracious enough to buy me that game, and when I read the reviews on YouTube and I watched videos, it's like, oh, this sucks, campaign sucks, multiplayer sucks, everything sucks. You know what? I'm having a blast. I played it since the time I got home till just now, and I love the game. I don't care, and I think because, you know, I'm so tired of doing like the Dark Souls games, and I have all my friends, dude, all my friends are coming up to me saying, dude, you want to play Shadow of the Erd Tree? That's the new DLC dropping, right? I said, I don't know, guys. I don't even know if I'm going to get it. But if I do get it, it's going to be a little while, because I like those games, don't get me wrong, but I got to have someone sort of hold my hand, because I am not that good. I don't know how to counter, parry, none of that crap. I suck at games like that. From Software games, I suck. Because I'm the guy that's just rolling out of the way, afraid to hit shit, because I don't want to mess up the other player's vibe. You get me on Call of Duty, simple premise. Run around, blast people. That's all you do. It ain't hard. It ain't rocket scientist. And it's something that I can be good at. So I'm doing that. Um, and I did see, guys, in the horror news that Megan 2.0 is supposed to be the next big franchise. You know, next big horror franchise. I also read a little bit about the troubled Friday the 13th series. You guys should do your research and check that out, because it's crazy at best. I do know we're getting another season of The Last Drive-In, and I tell everybody, if you're interested in horror films or if you like them on any level, you need to check out Joe Bob, because he's my man. He'll tell you exactly what it is. I think of what else has been going on. Really not much. And I know this video is a little anticlimactic, because a lot of you, I think, were expecting me to go in there and have another confrontation. But you know what? When you find the right person to handle business with you, then you all right. Yeah, that's about it. If you are interested in J horror or J horror gore, splatterpunk, whatever you want to call it, if you guys download the Tubi app, you guys can watch not only Tokyo Gore Police, but its sequel called Meatball Machine, which I've tried watching it this morning, and the cat ruined that, but it looked like a very bloody, gory affair in the tradition of Tokyo Gore Police. Tetsu the Iron Man is available on AMC Plus, I believe. I'm not sure. Kaduku, Meatball Machine 2 is available on Exumo Play. There's another one that's it's called Versus, and it's available. A lot of these are available to rent or buy off Amazon. But yeah, and also on Tubi or Arrow Video, you can watch Takashi Miike's gangster epic 3-part I can't effing believe what I just seen trilogy called Dead Birds. I've heard a lot about it, but when you watch his work, you just have to hang on for the ride. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. There's one scene toward the end of Dead Birds 1, okay? And I'll just tell you how this goes. There's a detective chasing a criminal, a Yakuza criminal, and they have this showdown at this sort of open field type deal. And when you get out, both of the characters have handguns, this, that, and the other thing. Well, Takashi Miike wanted to make it more interesting and have the detective pull out a bazooka out of nowhere, thin air, bam, like that. Nowhere in the script is a carry bazooka. Nowhere in the script is the bazooka transported from A to B. The man just pulls it out like that and fires on the dude. That's Takashi Miike's mind at work. And when a critic confronted him and said, hey, you know, there was no reference to the bazooka, Takashi Miike's reply was simply genius. Well, why shouldn't he have a bazooka? Think about that. You can't really argue with that. You know what I mean? You can't do it. But Jay, I know Japanese stuff isn't for everybody, but if you're interested, you can check some of this out. Not really too much else going on, just trying to beat the heat like everybody else, and you know, trying to stay sane. It's hot as hell out there. It either reminds you, like I said, of Do the Right Thing, that kind of heat, or The Summer Sam. You guys remember that? Spike Lee did that about the group of friends, you know, that had to deal with David Berkowitz. John Leguizamo was in it. Adrian Brody was in it. A couple other people was in it, and they had that real crazy scene of the dog talking to the guy that was supposed to be the son of Sam. Yeah, it was pretty nuts. But big shout out to Slippery Rock Medical, who made my day, who are very easy to talk to. And if you watched all 3 of these videos, I mean, you guys can go wherever you want as far as doctors go. I don't care where you go, but I'm just telling you, don't go to the Butler place that I talked about, because it's just not worth your time, effort, nor sanity. And that's just my opinion. Now, I could be way wrong. Um, Something else I was going to tell you guys. I don't know what it was. And a lot of people are on the fence about, a couple of remakes. People have asked me if I saw the first Omen. No, I haven't, because I don't know. The Omen started in 1976 for me. I don't know how far back they could go. Did I watch it? No. Can I watch it for free? Yes. I don't know. All these remakes coming up, and I think the thing that did it for me was, if a remakes could be good, but the problem with all remakes, guys, is that you already know how the story ends. You make Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, like the piece of garbage that came out on Netflix, right? You already know that in their mind they're going to have Leatherface live, and you're going to have another one. All they do is change the plot and the story, and it doesn't come to a resolution. You know what I mean? It comes to the same thing. Different characters, same thing. Same with The Exorcist. I mean, how many times are we going to see people possessed by the devil? Yeah, it might be set in modern times. It might have different characters. Some of them might be gay. Some of them might be, a different ethnicity. But the problem is the ending is always the same. People already know. People my age have already seen all the remakes there is. Now, reboots are different, because y'all can take a reboot, mess everything up, and bam, you could have the same story just jumped around. You know what I mean? And there's lots of movies I'd like to see rebooted. I mean, I can remember when they announced Revenge of the Nerds was getting remade. I was like, all right, because Nerds was cool. And if you have a passionate group, a director, who's passionate about the original, you're going to have something. But it never happened. Animal House, perfect. But you know what? Times have changed. You can't put that same stuff on the screen and get the same reaction. In 1979, when that sucker was released, when Animal House was released, it was a huge hit. You put that on the screen now, people are going to walk out because it's un-PC, unprofessional, offensive, and people are not tolerant of that crap. And it baffles me. So my thoughts on reboots, unless you're going to do it right and do it real, I'm not checking it out. Now, if it's an original story or a continuation of a movie that I like if they made another Darkman, if they made Darkman 4, I would probably check it out. I mean, I like Darkman. You gotta have the right story for it. You know what I mean? But watching 6, 7 incantations of Spider-Man, you lose interest, man. You do. That's why people say, well, Greg, why don't you watch Star Trek? I am watching the same thing repeated over and over. Different setting, different things. Yes, a lot of people like that. Not me. I don't know. But that's my thoughts on reboots. I mean, unless something comes along that really blows me out of the water. I still haven't watched Oppenheimer yet. My life has been just too crazy to sit down and watch a 4-hour opus of a movie, which I really would like to do, but I can't. But, yeah, I mean, it's nuts. And I want to give a big shout out to my man Connor. Big shout out to Emily. Big shout out to my girl Casey. Oh, and I have one very big shout out to tell you guys about. Me and my wife know a friend named Mallory. And some time ago, recently, she had just beat cancer. And she was battling that. And we saw her occasionally, here and there. And she looked really good. And you don't really want to say anything at the time, because you don't know if you're going to upset the person and say, hey man, you're going to kick this thing in the ass. Because some people take that and they like twist it around, and it's like you're telling them, you're reminding them that they have some deadly disease. And so I saw her the other day at work, and I said, "Hey, man, what's up?" We talked a little bit, you know. She's gonna call my wife and everything. And I told her I was afraid to say anything because I didn't know if I should or if I could or whatever. And she said, "No, Greg." She said, "Go ahead." So Mallory has been my friend and my wife Dawn's friend for a long time, and I'm saying, you know, I'm glad you kicked cancer in the ass, and you a tough woman, and I know, Mal, I know that you'll do it again, if need be, and I'm so happy that you did kick its ass, because you're an amazing, awesome friend to Dawn and I. And I want to give you a big shout out for doing that, you know, putting that shit in the coffin, you know what I mean? And like I said, guys, I didn't know if I should say that at the time, so I'm zipper lipped. But yeah, Casey, Emily, Mallory, Connor, Justin, you know, everybody that listens to me, I get a lot of positive feedback from y'all, and I really appreciate it. Even if I have something dumb to say, you guys always listen, and that makes me feel important. And again, you know, without me or without you, there is no me. So I'm glad of all the people that I helped or made go to the video store and check out a movie, or like Emily, she talked to me the other day. She saw my video, she didn't watch it. She's like, "What's going on?" I gave her a brief synopsis. I said, "Hey, check it out." I think I really helped her. And like I said, I can just tell you my side of things, but I can't make you do anything. So look, I hope you stay cool. Hope you have a great Juneteenth. And my dad would say, "Why aren't you watching Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society? It's your people, give it a holiday." You know what? No. Greg's just enjoying the day off just like everybody else. Greg don't need to watch any of that crap. Greg just needs to chill out. And it's not an African American holiday. It's not a Mexican holiday. You know what it is? It's an international holiday for everybody. All right? So have a great Juneteenth. I'll see you on Saturday or Sunday whenever I cut another video. Peace.